Okay, good morning, everyone, and good evening for some of you, because some people are joining from Europe. We are here, Airteam community, for our weekly webinars, and today we're speaking with Anna Tutckaia, who is a self-made marketing maven and mother of two beautiful kids, and also international entrepreneur. And today, Anna works as a marketing director for ManyChat, and ManyChat is the world's leading platform in chat marketing. And thank you for joining, Anna, and thanks for your time. Can you please introduce yourself and tell us more about your career path and where are you nowadays?
Sure. Hi, Elisa. Thanks a lot for inviting me. It's an honor to be here and share my experience with all of you guys. Just a little bit words about myself. I've been in marketing for the last 8 years here in Silicon Valley. Since the time I moved, I transitioned my career from running my own business to focusing solely on marketing. So I started as an intern at one of startups here in Silicon Valley, Luma Body Tech, and I eventually grew into head of marketing of ManyChat. It's been a long/short, I don't know how to frame this timeline path, and definitely a lot, fun stories along the way that I can share with you guys.
And when did you move to United States, and how did you start your career?
I moved in 2014, and when I moved to the United States, I basically asked myself, out of everything that I had been doing, at that time, what did I enjoy the most? And I figured that marketing part of business excited me the most, since it's the closest to business, because every company's goal is to generate customers, is to grow their revenues. And then it's also both creative and has a lot of data associated with it. So that's how I pretty much chose that I want to focus on marketing. And then I started figuring out, okay, but how can I actually become, and that was my goal, how can I become the head of marketing? I probably need to start somewhere. So I decided to take some courses and classes, certificates, and basically all the options that were available for me. So I took on the technology, what was that? Technology and something certification at Stanford Summer School. Then I also took a marketing manager certificate course. It was a yearly course in UC Santa Cruz Extension. And in the meantime, I was looking for internship opportunities, because back in the days when I was studying, I only had my student visa, and I wasn't able to basically get paid for anything, I did. So put together a list of companies that I really wanted to work at. That was companies from health and wellness space, then travel space. I don't remember exactly, but one of the companies actually responded, and they're like, oh, cool, we want you to come and intern for us. So that's how I started.
And what was the company? What did they do?
The company's name was Luma Body Tech. We did wearable devices for posture. That's when I joined. We had only one device, and another one was for running that we launched with me being at the company. And when I joined, I was just a generalist marketing intern, helping out here and there. And then I met a really nice person at that time. He was an agency serving with all the growth. His focus was on running ads, optimizing the landing pages. And he was like, Anna, tell me what you do moving forward. I was like, I want to become head of marketing eventually. And he's like, then you need to be where money is and where you can show the results of your work right away. And that's pretty much digital marketing, right? It's not product marketing, where the whole idea is to package the product really nicely, to know your customer really well, to know the product really well. Besides, I thought that I wasn't able to compete that much with, native speakers, because you really need to know and feel the language. And then it's also not brand marketing, where it's all about brand awareness. And I feel like it's the first, department to cut off when the business gets to any challenging moments. And I was like, okay, it's going to be digital marketing then. And like that person that basically gave me advice, he became my mentor, and I eventually learned a lot from him, and then took over, once he was ready to move on and I was ready, to take on more under my umbrella.
So basically you remained to work for this company, and you became a marketing manager or head of marketing in the company, or?
Yeah, so after 6 months of being an intern, I eventually got my work visa, and they hired me full-time as, I think, a marketing coordinator. Then in 4 months, they promoted me as a marketing manager. And eventually, I think I grew to senior digital marketing manager, like for that brand.
Okay, and did you face any like challenges at this like first job, like cultural challenges, or you saw that it was very different from because I think you studied in Europe as well and lived in Europe for some time, and also you're from Russia. So did you face like any challenges working for US startup, for US company, and what were the challenges?
I think the challenges there were a lot of challenges. It's like this road that you make for yourself, fake it until you make it, where it's all ups and downs, ups and downs. It's just a matter how you look at them, whether they're challenges or, new opportunities to take on. But if we were to be more specific, I think the first challenge was the language. I mean, I had a pretty good English, and but still, it's something that is always in your mind, where when you are sitting at the meeting and everyone is discussing a subject, and you're like, okay, I have this idea, and then you start translating this idea and thinking, how would you put it together really nicely so everyone understands it, and then bam, they're on the next topic, or bam, someone just says your idea out loud, and you're like, why did I do that to myself? So it took me a while to actually get in terms with my English, with my accents, understand myself, that it's okay to make mistakes and just say it out loud, because you are not less smart just because you phrase things differently. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah. And also because it's your second language, so you're actually more smart because you can handle two languages. And yeah, I mean, I understand totally what you're talking about. I had the same problem when I just moved here. I was just like, I think, mute for 3 or 4 months, just listening to people and keeping all the ideas for myself, just because I was afraid to speak. But did you do anything about that? Did you go to some language course? How did you practice? Just like at work?
Yeah, just a couple of times when you're waiting for too long for your thought and idea to share, and other people ideas are heard and they share, and you're like, okay, no, I'm actually going to say it out loud. And then it's fine, you survived, and you do it more often. So I think that's how that's how it just comes with practice. So that was the first thing. The other thing is starting everything from scratch when you already had a lot of experience, back in the days with in your native, when I had that experience in Russia, was also a little bit challenging, just psychologically to overcome. And I think lastly is, it's not a challenge, but something that also I learned with time, is taking on projects that you are not 100% comfortable with. To give you an idea, I'm still an intern, Luma Body Tech. We're changing offices. So and I don't have a lot of stuff because I just joined, and the team is super busy packing their stuff. And then there is this project that comes up, like a partner calls my boss and they're like, okay, we need a very personalized landing page and we need it by the end of the day. So my boss comes up to me and he's like, Anna, can you build landing pages? We need one. And I've never built landing page. I've never opened WordPress. I've never done anything like that. And I have like 1, 2, 3 seconds to answer. And my answer, like in my head, it was so long. I was like, should I say yes? Should I say no? Like, can I figure it out? Can I not? And I was like, yes, I can. And then I actually go to Google and I Google how to build landing pages on WordPress. And at the end of the day, I did it. It wasn't the best landing page. In fact, it sucked, but it was a landing page, the first one that, you know, went through a couple of iterations and we eventually launched it. So being uncomfortable with such moments, actually take on projects like that, I think was a challenge, but eventually allowed me to grow pretty fast.
So you would encourage people to take to step out of the comfort zone, because I guess it's the way you grow.
100%. I think that's actually the only way to grow, because if you keep doing what you already know and what you're already comfortable with, the path to growth will be endless. Like it will be so long, it will be very boring, but you feel very comfortable. If that's your path, that's okay. I know that some people prefer doing it this way, but if you want to start something new, if you want to get results fast, just take on more new, unknown, exciting, fail painfully, you know, but then you'll succeed fast too.
Okay, and do you think that digital marketing is very different in US rather than on the other markets where you worked, like Europe or Russia, and how different it is?
Honestly, I think it's getting more and more similar. And the reason why I say that is around 6 months ago, we had this idea that we want to target Russian-speaking market, because the ManyChat, the company I work for, we do automation for Messenger, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Instagram is a huge market for Russia. In fact, Meta, I mean, previously Facebook, they suggested us that we focus on 3 markets, which is US, Russia, and Brazil. And we're like, okay, cool. Meta did this recommendation. We see some pretty good results. Let's start building the team there. And I started hiring for a regional director of marketing in Russia, and did, you know, a handful of interviews with really amazing and bright people. And initially I thought, oh, it should be probably like, we probably should speak different language in terms of like marketing language. They know different things. And in fact, no, we were all on the same page. Like I made really, really nice, you know, not introductions and not friendships, but I met really nice people, knowledgeable. And that made me think that like we are on the same page with marketing too.
Yeah, in my experience, like back in the days when I lived in Russia, like 5 years ago, marketing was a lot about like qualitative things, like, you know, creating a great landing, like special projects, or it was a lot about like impressing and quality of content and everything, and people were not really paying attention to numbers that much. But I think in the last 5 years everything changed, and people are really looking for like return on investment in marketing. And in US, like here, they don't really care much about the way it looks as long as it makes money. So basically like some banners, so like some content that I see here, I would never probably launch in Russia because it was not qualitative enough. But here is like, as long as it makes money, brings customers, it's working, that's the most important thing. I have this impression. I don't know, what do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Even here, you get to these interesting conversations, especially when you work with bigger brands, where, you know, the head of brand, for example, would want to make it pretty, and you, let's say, as head of growth, would want to see a return on investment spend, right? And there is always this, let's test out this version and other version. So data, speaks for itself at the end of the day. You run experiments, you see what's working, what's not. But as a digital marketer, growth marketer, person that is responsible for revenues, data is the only thing I care about. Like in fact, I once ran ads where the first image was a stop sign, like actually stop sign before we showed the ad. And the brand director at that time, like I think called me at 11 p.m. Is like, you gotta stop that. And the thing is, I was too junior at the time, like too afraid. And I stopped the ad, stopped running the ad. But then the next morning I came in, I pulled the data, I showed him the data, and I was like, do you still want me to, keep it paused or like restart? He's like, restart, I'm sorry. Like, you were right. Because like, who cares about, the beautiful banner when it doesn't work?
Yeah, what was the brand?
Luma Body Tech, like that was that one. Okay. Yeah.
And I know you're hiring a lot of people and to your marketing team. What are the skills and what are you paying attention to? Like what the person should have to be in your team?
So that's a really good question. And I would say there are two types of skills, right? First of all, since we're still a startup, and the way I hire is I hire experts in different fields. So for example, if I hire a head of content, or like senior manager of content, or if I hire, the influencer manager or growth manager, I want them to be experts in the field, that they are way smarter than I am, like way more experienced. They know all the little details. They have a lot of hands-on experience running that and success stories, to share. So I want the person come in and tell me, okay, we tried this, this didn't work, that worked. I'll recreate it for you. So that's the first thing that I'm looking at. But then the second thing, which contradicts a little bit with the first one, I want them to be flexible enough that in case the strategy changes, in case the whole trajectory of the company changes, I want people to be comfortable wearing multiple hats and, take on the course, learn something new, learn new technology, and be ready, to test out new things.
Yeah, and as far as I know, when you're a startup, the direction changes every day. So you really need
often, that's for sure.
Yeah. So you really need to be prepared, like, and not to be too like stagnant in what you learned or what you want to do. It's always like, okay, what is the way?
Especially with digital marketing, right? New channels pop up very often. When I started marketing, it was Facebook, then Instagram showed up. Now it's TikTok. Like it's also podcasting, right? That you need to understand how it works and how do you want to add it to your marketing mix. So it's a lot. And on top of that, that's so many new technology that is adding up, every month. So it's extremely important, to stay on top of the game and to constantly, keep learning, educating yourself and knowing how to use all of that.
And do you have any like, I don't know, statistics or what are the most effective channels right now for your business in the US?
It's hard to say because it really depends on the audience you're targeting and where your audience hang out online, right? So how do you want to approach this audience? But I would say the shift that is happening right now, or has already happened, honestly, is from direct response ads, that we used to run 6 years ago. I always say a phrase, when you pull $1 in and you get $4 out, like from the ads, it's like, oh, we have unlimited budget. You can spend as much as you want as long as you bring, $4 in return.
Yeah.
It's not happening any longer. Like when a brand demands that from you, like move away from the brand. It's not happening. What is happening right now is for the brands to really get down to basics and start understanding their customers and start thinking, how can you bring value to those customers before you introduce the brand? So meaning that what content can you put together? Either it's educational or entertaining content, online events, webinars like the one that we are doing right now, or summits, so you can acquire this lead before and only then nurture the lead and introduce, to the brand. And the way you acquire the lead, the mix of channels also changed, from that direct response or like the ad on TV or the banner to more of thought leaders within the industry, partnering with other brands, partnering with influencers, partnering with educators. So they present the brand versus brand, presents themselves. So therefore, all of those channels, events, influencers, partnerships become very valuable as a marketing mix.
So basically inbound marketing versus outbound marketing.
Kind of. I honestly never used those terms really well. For some reason, it was not, part of my vocabulary. Yeah. But I think so. I would say the way I say direct response versus value driven. How about that?
Okay, I like it. I take it. And if someone wants to become a great growth marketeer, and because like you talked about this, that people here are in your team as well, you're looking for specific skills, and this is the trend that I also recognize, because like in Russia, when people work in marketing, they're more of a generalists, like they know this and this and a bit of everything, like but here people are more like experts in one area, like I don't know, email marketing or paid social or content marketing, and it's very, very like narrow. So if someone wants to become a great growth marketeer today, where would you start?
So for growth marketing, it's actually very important to be a generalist, but the way you do it is becoming an expert in one field and then adding more fields under your umbrella. So for example, if you want to become a growth marketer, you can start either from, because growth marketing is a combination of marketing and product. Let's start with that one. So it's not only marketing where you, let's say, run ads or run influencer campaigns and you acquire customers. Growth marketing is like a person that sits down at the table, looks at the brand, looks at the data and thinks, okay, how am I going to grow it? And very often it's not only marketing, it's also like stuff that you can do with the product or together with marketing. So therefore, a lot of product managers can become growth marketers too. So if you start from scratch, the way I would recommend going is to choose the fields in marketing that excites you the most. If you want to be a growth marketer, you want to definitely be comfortable with data. So that's one thing to take into account. And then you think, okay, maybe I want to start off with acquisition marketing, where I want to focus on, let's say, paid ads, right? And that's the niche where the reason why I bring this up, maybe because that's exactly how I started. So I became an expert in Facebook ads, Google ads, because that's the fastest, at least at that time, where you were spending some dollars and you were getting some return. So you become an expert there, and then things start to add up to that. You run ads, you think, okay, I'm bringing in all this traffic to the landing pages. Landing pages suck, the ones that, product marketers, for example, put together because they're not optimized for conversion. How about I learn some conversion rate optimization? So you take a class in conversion rate optimization, you talk to a couple of experts, you read a couple of books, boom, you're a conversion rate optimization expert now on top of the, ads expert. So you solve that. then the question is, okay, I bring in the traffic, this traffic converts, and then they go through the registration process. How about I figure out a little bit about the product and see if the product converts there? And then you tap into the product, you learn more about the product. Then these customers convert into leads. And you see that, okay, I bring in so many people, but why am I not tapping into nurturing side of things, like email marketing side of things? So you get your hands there and you learn more about email marketing. So you pretty much add more and more and more channels into the mix once you get familiar and comfortable with the channels that you start with. And once you understand this, holistically, you see the picture like in every detail, you can say, okay, I've played with so many channels, I have experience, I see the customer throughout the holistic funnel, and I know how to work with the customer through this funnel. Maybe I can claim that I'm a growth marketer, maybe, and the day you claim it, you become a growth marketer.
I've got a tricky question for you.
Uh-huh.
What are the areas that you just discussed? Like, what are the parts of growth marketing that will be replaced or already replaced by AI?
Ooh. Interesting.
That's tricky.
A lot of them, partially, right? So all the targeting, that's actually, okay, going back to your question, how digital marketing, growth marketing is different in the US and Russia or in Europe. And I heard that there is a term, targetologist or something like that.
Yes.
That exists in Europe. There is no such thing here. And I think the reason why is because honestly, he can't beat AI with that. And all the targeting is made by platforms. You pretty much like choose a direction, and then at the end of the day, the more you let channels run ads and stuff for yourself, the better the targeting becomes. So there's no such thing here. And that is definitely going to be taken by AI. Another thing is, I wanted to say content, but then yesterday I had this conversation with with one of my colleagues, and they started using AI platform for putting together copy.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is called copy.ai, something like that. And they say it works amazingly. They just put some bullet points and it does copy for you. I've never tried it myself, my bad. I'm going to do it this week. But then even content can be created. I think what's impossible to recreate is two things. First of all, the strategy, right? Because machines are not that smart as people, since they can't take a lot of little details into the account. So as a marketer, no matter whether you are a life cycle marketer, growth marketer, like work with influencers, you really need to understand, okay, what is the audience that I'm targeting? What is the product that we serve the audience? And what are the creative ways, I can tackle that, equation? I don't think that computer can do that. So strategy, yet, but yet. I don't know. It's like, maybe in how many years, Alisa? We still have, I don't know, at least 5, right?
I don't know. They already say that machines can feel and can talk to each other. So yeah, who knows what they can do in 10 years or 20 years. No, I'm just asking because like maybe there is no sense of receiving some like education or learning something that will be replaced by the AI in the nearest future. So we answered these questions that probably targeting and targetologist, it's not what you wanna study to be a good like to be in demand in the job market. And do you know any cool like marketing courses that you can suggest, and yeah, any schools that you can recommend?
Yeah, first of all, I would say that the approach I took in order to find job here in the US is I decided to add more brands under my resume. And that's the reason why I studied at Stanford, and that's the reason why I studied at UC Santa Cruz Extension, just because there were some names that people can recognize when they see my resume. And I had a couple of stories that proved that that strategy worked. But then, did I learn something there? Like, probably not. I learned, how to communicate with others, because it's a new environment, how to write papers, how to do all of that, which was very helpful, but marketing related, not much. Then what helped me a lot is Udemy, actually, and which I use until these days when I am interested about a new topic. So for example, I don't know, I'm blank on the name of the channel, TikTok ads, how to run TikTok ads. Like, I had no idea. You go on Udemy, you like search for the most, popular course that has the highest ratings. You go through the course, you get the idea, and you get very specific how-tos to the point that you can start launching campaigns yourself. And that's what I did for Facebook ads, Google ads, influencer marketing, on like how to approach, influencers, what strategies do I need to use to, put together the right payments. So stuff like that, it's very helpful. So that's on the tactical side of things. And then from the growth programs perspective, the best one is Reforge. It is basically a also really well recognized brand that has a lot of information. But I would recommend doing that program for those who already have some experience, because the way they structure the program is that you basically go through a lot of case studies with real people here in the industry, and you solve those challenges that they had together, and then you learn how they actually did it. And initially as a group, you see the challenge, you solve it, and then you learn it from them. And that's where you learn like the growth perspective. But I would start, like, if you're starting out, I would just start with Udemy and take as much courses and classes as possible, and then start getting clients and practicing on those clients.
Okay. And where would you search? Because we have a lot of people in our community who are looking for remote jobs. Where would you look for remote jobs? How would you like approach a job search in the US?
Ooh, how would I do that being remote? So there are two types of jobs, right? First of all, it's full-time and part-time, and it depends, right? What your preferences are. Maybe if you're starting, you can take on more of part-time jobs, so you can add it up to your portfolio. So then once you want to have a full-time job, you can show more of results of your work, more case studies, if you will. In terms of where I would search for them is full-time jobs make sense, right? Like, that's an easy answer. Like, you normally, the way I do it, I go on crunchbase.com. It's a really cool resource where you can find startups of different sizes. You can filter out by, let's say, startups that just raised certain amounts of, dollars, raised their round. And you can even filter out by those startups that are hiring, and then filter out by industry, let's say you're interested in or you have the most experience with. And then you just go one by one and see, okay, do they have job openings? And you reach out to them by applying, on their website. And then I would also recommend by finding people on LinkedIn that work, at this company and that are the closest to the role, and reaching out to them directly. So it helped me a lot of times, and you can't even imagine how responsive people are. And very often I would receive such messages. It's like, hey, by the way, I applied on your website. And I was like, okay, this person is the person that actually goes extra mile. So I want to pay attention on their resume. So That is for full-time. And another thing, I guess, to add is try to find as many recruiters and recruitment agencies as possible, and just send them the message. It's like, hey, by the way, I'm active in the market. Here I am. Here is my experience. Please consider me for these types of roles. And very often these people would get back to you once they have anything related to your search, even if they don't have anything at the moment.
Okay.
That's full-time. Part-time is tricky. Part-time is, there are a couple of marketing agencies that help with onboarding part-time specialists. I am blank on the name. I think Marketing Hire is the one. The other one, I'm blank on the name, but I'm not sure if you're going, Alisa, to do the email after that, so we can include that in the notes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we will do
and
a
then
recap in the Telegram group.
Yeah, so we can include it there. So you can, again, reach out to them. They can take on all the information, on your experience. And once the company is searching for part-time, you can be a part of it. You can reach out to me. Sometimes I do projects.
That's my next question.
Yeah, you can reach out to me. And if it's for ManyChat, if we need someone, on the some period of time, or it's full-time, or I also consult, with other brands, so I can definitely recommend you. Take that into account too. And then lastly, I don't know, I never had experience with it myself, but platforms like, what is it called? Upwork,
yeah.
For freelancers. I use it myself, when I need to get some job done. I've used content creators, copywriters, video editors there. I've never used marketers there, but I know that some people do. So yeah, be everywhere if you have time and resources for that, so people can find you.
And so you're working with a remote team in your company? Do you have any people working for you in Europe or Eastern Europe?
I have people, mostly talking about the marketing team, mostly in the US. It is a remote team spread it across the US. I have one copywriter. She's part-time, agency, I would say more, but / part-time. She is in Australia. And I have one part-time person. She is in Costa Rica.
Okay. And I think I'm done with questions. Do we have any questions from our audience? If you want to ask a question, you can unmute yourself, or turn on the video, and welcome to ask anything you want.
Or you can also type them in chat. We can do that way too.
So looks like no questions yet. So thank you so much for your time, and we will do a small recap in our Telegram group. Yeah, if some people want to ask you about marketing or in US or any advice, can they reach out to you in our community and ask questions?
Absolutely. Yeah, reach out to me in the community. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn as Anna Tutckaia. You can reach out to me on Instagram as Anna Tutckaia too. So choose, but I think community is the best, since you can help other people by asking your question, I guess, so other people can see the answer too.
I think we have one question. Who helps you analyze the data?
So currently we have analytics team in-house. It's an amazing team, and they basically help me analyze data on my marketing campaigns or team's marketing campaigns, and then how it is related to the product performance, how it is connected to product. But before that, there were times when I basically analyzed the data myself, and I used just channels that I used to acquire customers or communicate with customers. So let's say if I run Facebook ads, it would be just Facebook data that, I can use. If I'm talking about email campaigns, then email channel that I was using at the time. And then Google Analytics, it's definitely a platform that every marketer should be familiar with and feel pretty confident with manipulating data there.
And I think they have a very good course on Google Analytics on LinkedIn, and Google Analytics course itself. It's like super helpful to learn about it, and super quick way to become
and it's
familiar with data yourself.
Yeah, and it's a free tool. The thing is, every company has that. So no matter, so for example, we have Google Analytics, but then at the other hand, we have the whole analytics team that builds out a ton of dashboards on Tableau. And still, I would go to Google Analytics to check stuff that I need to check pretty quickly. Thanks for your question, Tatiana.
Any more questions, guys? You have a chance.
I have a question. Can I?
Yes, sure. Hi.
Hi, Ms. Tatiana. Thank you for this great event. Actually, I wasn't prepared before, but I just wrote all my papers here from this event. Thank you so much. It was very helpful for me. I'm in USA for 4 years, and I just have my green card maybe 1 month ago. Thanks God.
Oh, congrats.
I'm in the Bay Area, and I have 10-year experience in Russia. Well, we moved 4 years ago. Now I have 2 kids, and one of them is 3 months. Yeah, and now I just wanna, I don't know, for me, this question about skills, it's very important for me, because I just want to know what skills is really important in market. You told a lot, and so you told to start with Google Analytics or something. Now I can learn something, maybe to go to US Santa Cruz, maybe to go to US Berkeley extension, and I don't know what to choose. There's so much choice here. I have money, but not so much, of course, but I just want to find skill which will be, I don't know, more suitable for market here in Bay Area. I understand that data is the most important, and what else? What can you just, I don't know. It's like this question's maybe like a general question, and I just repeat what you told before, but for me, it's very, I don't know. I just want to be a person who can help businesses here. And I have industry, which I like. Yeah, and I just have maybe 3 companies where I should go when my children will grow up. I really choose, but I just want to, I don't know, just pitch myself for them and to have skills, what is more suitable for market and how can I be just, I don't know, more profitable for them, and that's it. Thank you so much. And
yeah, thank you so much for your question. And I totally get it. I think that's the question that I've been asked a lot. And I would say you should definitely start with what you are interested in the most. Because, and where you already have at least some of the experience that you can connect, to the new thing that you're going to offer. So to give you an idea is, if you're interested in, to give you an idea even more, step backs. When you get to Silicon Valley, right, you know that there are so many engineers, there are so many data analysts, and everyone needs that. So there was a period of time when I tried myself into that. I took courses and I was like, okay, I'm going to learn. I'm going to be a, I don't know, software engineer. It never worked. It's just not my thing. It was so boring for me. So the same with marketing. For example, I know that Alisa, if you will, Alisa, we're friends, so we discussed it a lot. She's not a huge fan of, running ads, on different platforms, getting into technicality of all of it. And that means that she does not need go that route, right?
Exactly.
That's why she's building the community. So you need to understand, okay, are you analytical? Are you okay of combining, creativity, let's say, of running the ads, you know, but also diving into data and analyzing all the little details here and there so you become successful. If not, then maybe you're more into building relationships and influencer marketing, partnerships marketing is a huge thing right now. Honestly, it's growing like crazy. And it's a huge channel for like currently for me, as if you were to see it, my channel mix. So maybe you need to invest your time there. The cool thing is, if you, let's say, decide to be a partnerships marketing, influencer marketing, but you also know a little bit at least about, you know, the ads, more direct response stuff, then you will become a better specialist with influencer marketing, because you'd be able to know how to scale that, you know, how to combine both channels. But you'd rather start where you are really interested in and excited about.
Okay, I just thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate your answer. Just yeah, I'm thinking, and I'm still thinking, of course, I'm like a generalist in Russia. You're always generalist, because I worked in pharmacy market, I work on automobile market, like with trucks. I just started maybe 3 businesses with myself in Russia, and I just still thinking, should I just, I don't know, start my own project or to go to the market and to work there, because it's very just hard with 2 kids, maybe sometimes to start a business with myself. Really hard, and you need a lot of time. And yeah, maybe it's easier to work on industry which you like, and just to give them some impact and to help to make this impact for them, and just and to feel myself more I don't know, like happy about it, because I did some great, just not to doing my business, but helping someone which I really love, just to grow their business and to make impact. Thank you so much. Yeah, today I just started your community. I didn't know about it before. That's why thank you and have a nice day.
Yeah, thanks, Tatiana. The thing to add is if you feel more like a generalist and you have experience in different types of businesses, in marketing, there is this role, which I think is very important, project manager, marketing project manager, where this person supports different projects overall, you know, and they work with different specialists and experts in the field to put the campaign together. So in this way, you don't necessarily need to be an expert in these tiny little areas, but it's enough for you to be familiar with all of them so you can help run the whole thing.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity.
Sure. Yeah.
Thank you for the question.
Thank you. Any more questions?
I think we can still send questions in the group in Telegram, and we can continue there. And we will upload the recording in the next few days, and as well as the recap. And thank you, Anna, for your time. Thanks everyone for joining. I think we have someone else joining us right now. But yeah, we are finishing here, and have a great day, everyone.
Thanks, Elisa, for inviting. Thank you, everyone, for joining, and Tatiana, for your questions. Very valuable. Ask more questions in the group, in the community, and I will get back to all of them.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot, Anna. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.